It's the Velvet Doberman again. After approximately 2 weeks ago, maybe a little longer, having what I seem to remember was a vociferous screaming match with one of the, excuse me, pardon, Time Warner customer service people. And if it turns out that that's correct, what I will do is interject that into this recording here. I'm a little distracted here because I'm thinking at the same time. Well, here's the deal. We were watching a shot in the dark. I happened to make the mistake of mentioning that I could still eat a Dodger dog after, well, I have a big appetite, and dinner was deliberately designed to be somewhat smaller than usual because I need to, you know what I mean. So my lovely wife and partner Sue was assisting me by feeding me less. However, this is an hour and a half ago, and I said after a half hour, if I wasn't hungry, I would let the whole thing go. And then half hour had elapsed, and I wasn't hungry. Add another half hour, and I was hungry. So she decided to fix me up with some corn. Of course, it isn't non-GMO, so I'm probably breaking all of my chromosomes in the process. So, you know, I'll lose this, and I'll lose my ability to sire further progeny. But that really wasn't an option. What we're doing here is we are advancing. Notice that we're only able to go at double speed. I can't chip it forward with this goodie. I'll do it right here in front of God and everybody. If I hit this button again, which is fast forward, watch what happens. Oh, it's not even listening. I have to point it at the receiver. It resorts to real time. If I hit it one more time, we return to 2x. If I hit it one more time, it should move to 3x, and then 4x, and ultimately 5x. You can't do that in these movies. I don't really see even the economic advantage of doing that. So I'm ready to take legal action. So we are at 51 minutes in, and I started this timer. Oh, no, I didn't start the timer. I thought I started the timer. See, all these shenanigans, people, is something that the customer should not have to deal with. If maybe once a year we had to deal with this cockapoo-poo, I think I could probably tolerate that. Maybe even twice a year. But it's not only the TV, but it's the phone service, it's the banks, it is on and on and on and on. You wonder why people get fed up, and we should watch this again. Maybe there's a golden lining in all of this. No, it's asinine, it's idiotic, it's incompetency to the max. This is epic inanity, if that's even a word, that people should have to put up with this and pay money for it. You see, you're paying money for this kind of service. If you haven't been getting this kind of randomity, you're among the very, very lucky, because all you have to do is put the right keywords into Google, my friends, and you will hear people screaming at rage with having to put up with this crap. Why is this so irritating? Well, for one thing, you lose the continuity of the plot. This happens to be a farce. It is a brilliant farce, I will admit. Blake Edwards is a total genius, or was. That's why we decided to watch it. But if it's a very serious movie, intense, or if it is an extreme drama, or worse than that, if it's a scary movie, for example, Dreamcatcher. We watched it once, had the problems several months ago, and the last time we watched it again, just because I wanted to see it again, because it's an interesting movie. We ran into the same problem with the hakus, and I explained that in other videos. That's halt and catch up. But it completely demolishes the plot. Now, this, talk about demolishing the plot, we are now at 1:13. It is now 9:50. You saw the beginning of this recording as a what we call Captain's Log Stardate, or CLSD. I don't even remember what the time was, which is utterly a waste of time. If I were to add up all of these minutes and then come up with some sort of an algorithm, Spectrum, formerly Time Warner, would owe us a pretty penny. Now, it's not just the hakus. It's not the fact, did I explain? I probably didn't. Well, the problem that we're having is that if I pause where is my control here? If I pause, using pause, observe, pause, it pauses. What is the economic advantage, or the hidden agenda even, for Spectrum, in pitching us out? If I don't either use the chipper, this is this 11-second backing out, so it's not even listening to me now. I guess I'm not pointing it in the right direction. Okay, so you see that little question mark there? Oops. Probably broke the remote now. This is the second remote. I mean, if it weren't just this situation, let me backphrase that. If it were this situation only, there might be a modicum of a possibility that we could put up with it. Very, very small. Dismally small. But the average is, I would say, 65% poor service, technical inadequacy, and so on and so forth. Maybe 55. I don't know. I don't mean to exaggerate. I'm telling the truth here. And the only way that I would be able to give you, or anybody, these numbers reliably would be to waste even more time and mentality, ergs of energy, call them life units, as they are called in some circle. Basically, we're being burdened with a whole lot of carp that we shouldn't have to be burdened with. And I would not be... What's going on here now? Why can't we see that? Oh, because it craps out. Maybe we're back to real time and beyond, in which case now we're seeing into the future. Oh no, this is the bomb scene and the clock. Okay, now it's 9:53. Can you read that? Yeah. Well, we're not putting up with it anymore. Haven't reached that escape velocity moment, or that inception point where we know exactly what we're going to do or how we're going to implement the correction, quote unquote, air quotes difficult with one hand if you're doing selfies. But this is just beyond astonishing. Now I can reset the unit. Oh, and by the way, I'll just add this and then I'll ring off here. Goodbye. It was within a day or so after having this, I truly believe I had a screaming match with somebody representing some company at the time, and I think it was Spectrum. Almost positive. We've had problems with other corporations looking for what one of the hosts on KFI many years ago, a consumer advocate like myself, except that he was actually more high profile. Oh, that may be about to change, by the way. If one were to go to the Velvet Doberman, all one string, thevelvetdoberman.com, and you will there see what's called a landing page or a splash page, while the real website is being developed in the background. So it's not live, but it'll give you an idea. Primetime TV television show, Fox or NBC, probably. So we're going to take this up along with 150 to begin with. Pardon. So we're this close to the end. You see, when it pitches us out back to zero, and we can't move forward any faster than, well, now we're in real time. How did that happen? Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, now it's double time again. You see, all that wasted time, totally lost the continuity of the so-called arc of the plot. And we are probably almost caught up. And it's now 9:55. Totally unacceptable. I mean, epically, I think I've used the biggest words I can use. Okay, this is where we need to be. So I'm going to stop, put it in pause, and the only way that I can keep it from pitching us out, remember, the question is, did I say, why is it pitching us out? All they have to do is put some sort of flag in the digital data stream to hold this image. It's totally doable, folks. You know it, I know it, they know it, and I'm just sick and tired of it. We could stay on this indefinitely. I could, for example, using this control, go to black. Watch. I don't know why it came back. I think this remote, well, that's a whole other story. When it comes to technology, why is it not DMing importing? Well, big fat flunk on that one. So if I don't keep manipulating this device here, so I don't keep wet nursing it by either pitching it back, using the so-called chipper as we call it, or putting it in rewind, which I need to do anyway here because we've already got spoilers, having looked at the screen. All right, here we go. This is where we were. This is going up on YouTube, folks, and it's just the beginning. 9:57, massive waste of time, enormous drain on TED, as we call it, time, energy, and disposition, TED, and it's just no excuse for it. And this is, again, just the tip of the iceberg of the different kinds of problems that we've had, and no doubt other people have, and the frequency of them. So as I started to say, after the screaming match, this cleared up. I tested it. All was well. Oh, and by the way, I better not get too carried away, because if I do, it'll pitch us back to zero, and we'll have to do the whole operation all over again. So I'm hitting pause. Aussie Wazzy. Velvet Doberman signing off. See you on YouTube, Spectrum.